Went to Collingwood Technical School when I was 11, and the first day at school, a chap came around and he said, "We've got a band, anyone would like to learn to play in our band, come and see me in room so-and-so." I'm a little shy boy, so I didn't say anything, I didn't go. Went home and told Mum. The man came around and said they've got a band at the school. The next day she's down at the school with the instrument, and I got dragged out of class, and that's when I was 11, and I've been playing it ever since.
Along came this curly-haired fella to play baritone.
Well, I went to Preston in 1964. I was playing with the Heidelberg band on euphonium, and a guy that was in the Preston band, Tom Kett, said they're short of a euphonium, and he said we'd like to come over to Preston. And I'd never known A grade, and I said, "Oh yeah, I'll go over." So I went over, and I got the shock of my life. I couldn't handle the euphonium, A grade, so I went on to baritone.
Jack came along, very interested, always dedicated, great solo competitor in competition in Victoria and throughout. He was asked by seniors in the education department would he start up a band, so forth, and that was when he was at Cloud Tech, I think it's called.
Immediately, I suppose, had a lot of respect for him because he'd clearly done so much and loved the band so much, cared about the band so much. When I was just starting, and I realised that it was something a bit more than just coming along and playing in a band. It was there was a bit of a legacy happening there, I suppose.
Not only is he 150% committed to banding, he's an absolute gentleman. And the man himself has done so much for Darebin City Brass as a whole in training up the juniors. He spends, I'm pretty sure, about 4 or 5 nights a week here training up new kids.
Very, very active in the teaching of youngsters here now for many years.
Jack Kelly's been taking juniors in the Preston band room for a very long time, for decades.
But he definitely is extremely generous with his time and talents, and has been responsible for a lot of good players to come through Darebin City Brass, including a lot of the members at Northern at the moment and some of the senior members at Preston as well.
I think greatest success story, instrumentalist-wise, is George Militz's. George is an absolute superb player.
George was the main one. He worked his butt off and put his head down and really wanted to succeed as a cornet player and a trumpet player, which he has. Now, I don't take credit for the standard that he got to because I never taught him in the higher level. I only started him off. He did all the work. I encouraged him in the early stages, but he went on, as most of them do. I only start them off, and if they show an interest and work hard, they can go on to really good things.
And before the cabaret, they had, as they usually do, we usually have the juniors playing a little bit beforehand, usually on the stage in the Preston Town Hall there. And it was like any junior band. It was rough, it was honky, it was noisy, but these kids were up there having a go. And I don't think I'd really ever met Jack before. But I suppose being a teacher and or learning to be a teacher at that stage, I had great admiration for Jack. I thought he was doing a great job. Yeah, it was painful and awful, but it always is when you're learning, when you're starting to play music. And Jack was doing a great job.
My friend Calum decided he would like to play the cornet and found out about Darebin City Brass and Jack's juniors. So then he started playing and was looking for a friend to join up with him. So me and my brother decided we'd join him, and Mum and Dad thought it'd be a good thing, and we just started playing. And Jack and George suggested that maybe we move up and have a try in Northern. They were preparing for a contest, so we started playing with Northern Brass, and then yeah, from there we were both on bottom cornet. I think my brother was on second and I was on third, and then eventually went on to principal and played have played it for a few years now on principal. I've also been able to have the opportunity to become part of the National Australia Youth Brass Band under the leadership of David King, which is an opportunity that's been amazing.
Also started off as the cornet tutor of National Australia Brass Youth Band, and having heard Andy McAdam and Lou, Llewellyn Morris. Having heard them play, I encouraged them to audition on the quality of their playing. They both achieved a spot in the youth band. Llewellyn was solo horn. He's been solo horn in the National Youth Band for 2 years now.
But yeah, well, Lou's one of those boys that did it himself. He had a bit of ability, he worked at it, and he's really shone with what he's able to do. I think that he's gone on to tenor horn. He was with me with the cornet trumpet.
It was the start of grade 6 when I first joined Jack. I was with him for a year, learning good ensemble skills, how to be a part of a band, even just a small group that Jack had at the time. I then joined Moonee Valley Brass and spent a number of years there, and then when Northern Brass started up, myself and my dad moved over to Northern Brass.
And Andy, he started on second last year, or 2 years ago, and last year he was on rep, I believe, so he's moving up the ranks as well. So yeah, it gives you an idea of the education that's gone on at the Darebin Band Room. The first time I was just helping Darebin out. I wasn't even conducting Northern at the time, and we played this concert. Tom Paulin was conducting, and at the very end, all these little tackers came out and ringed the band, and I nearly couldn't play. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. All these kids came out of nowhere.
Jack Kelly is an absolute legend.
Apart from my work, was music. Yeah. And I'm still doing it. Since age 11. Yeah. Lovely.